I'm Naenomo. Today, we're going to talk about the sky. So tell me, how high is the sky? When we lift our heads and look up, the sky feels like it has no ceiling. It feels endless. But if the sky does have an end, then above the sky is the universe. So it seems like there is a boundary between the sky and the universe. Today, we're going to take everyone to understand where the ceiling of the sky is. So, everyone, fasten your seatbelts. We're about to take off. First, 1.7 meters. 1.7 meters is said to be the average height of adult men. For women, the average height is around 1.6 meters. Now, when we talk about countries with relatively tall average height, what comes to your mind? Northern Europe, that's right. In Northern Europe, representative countries such as Latvia, the Netherlands, Lithuania, and Sweden. In these countries, the average male height can all reach over 1.80 meters. In the Netherlands, the average height of women is also over 1.70 meters. I remember before when I was watching football programs, they mentioned that on the Norwegian team, even the shortest player was over 1.80 meters tall. Actually, Southern Europe is also very tall. For example, Bosnia and Serbia. Basically, countries in the Balkan Peninsula also have a lot of tall people. It's quite similar to Northern Europe. The people in the Balkan Peninsula are called Slavs. There are South Slavs, West Slavs, and East Slavs. You've heard of that, right? East Slavs are Russians. And Russians, aren't they also very tall? So Slavs in general are tall. So what about China? According to statistics from 2014, the average height of men is 1.72 meters. And for women, it is 1.60 meters. Now, a person's height is related to many things. Genetics, of course, is one factor. But when you really get into the key point, people discovered that in cold places, people tend to be bigger. In tropical places, people tend to be relatively slimmer and smaller. This is called Bergmann's rule. It says that warm-blooded animals living in cold environments tend to grow larger. For example, polar bears are more than twice the size of sun bears. So why do animals in cold places grow larger? Because in cold places, animals need to store more energy, so they tend to grow bigger. Now, the tallest person ever recorded in the world was an American born in 1918. His name was Robert Wadlow. His height was 2.72 meters. The tallest person currently alive is a Turkish man. His name is Sultan Kösen. His height is 2.51 meters. The tallest person in China was a man named Zhang Junkai. He is also the tallest person in Asia. His height is 2.42 meters. Even Yao Ming is shorter than him. All right, we've stayed around 1.7 meters for long enough. Let's continue going up. 2.45 meters. 2.45 meters is the current world record for the high jump. This record was set in 1993 by a Cuban high jump athlete. All right, let's keep going up. 3.83 meters. This is the world record for the highest touch reach. That is, jumping up and touching the highest point. This record feels like something a basketball player would do. But it wasn't a basketball player. It was set by a Cuban volleyball player named Leonel Borges. His height is 1.96 meters. Let's continue going up. 5.5 meters. 5.5 meters is the average height of the tallest animal in the world. What animal is that? The giraffe. That's right. There is nothing taller than a giraffe. All right, let's keep going up. 6.16 meters. 6.16 meters is the world record for the pole vault. This record was set in 2014 by a French pole vaulter named Renaud Lavillenier. This Renaud, his whole family does pole vaulting. His younger brother is also an active athlete and has also cleared over 6 meters. Actually, from what I've seen in world competitions, as long as you clear 6 meters, you basically win. So this 6.16 meters is really unbelievable. All right, let's keep going up. 11.56 meters. 11.56 meters is the world record for plunge diving. So what is plunge diving? It means jumping from a very high place into a children's swimming pool. The depth of this children's pool is only about 30 centimeters. This record was set by an American named Darren Taylor. In 2014, he jumped from 11.56 meters into a pool that was only 30 centimeters deep. He really loves this sport. He broke his own record 12 times. Up until now, he hasn't suffered any serious injuries, only 8 concussions. Later, the media interviewed him and asked, "Doesn't it hurt jumping like that?" He said, "It hurts for only 1 minute, but the honor lasts a lifetime." He's a very positive person. Actually, I think he's not the world record holder for plunge diving. He's the world record holder for enduring pain. All right, let's continue. 35 meters. 35 meters is the height of the tallest dinosaur ever discovered from fossils. Its name is Argentinosaurus. All right, let's continue going up. 58.8 meters. This is the world record for what's called normal diving. Although calling it normal doesn't really make sense. This record was set by a Swiss man named Lasso Schaller on August 4th, 2015. He found a waterfall that was 58.8 meters high and jumped from the waterfall into the pool below. When he entered the water, his speed reached about 120 kilometers per hour. Of course, he did this with full safety protection. Everyone, please do not try this lightly. All right, let's continue going up. Over 100 meters. 115.85 meters. This is the height of the tallest tree in the world. Its name is Hyperion. Its species is the coast redwood. It is over 700 years old. This tree currently grows in Redwood National Park in the United States, so this record may continue to be updated. But for the protection of this tree, its exact location has never been made public. So even if you go to the park, you won't know where this tree is. 484 meters. This is Hong Kong's tallest building, the International Commerce Center. Continuing upward, 509.2 meters. This is Taiwan's tallest building, Taipei 101. All right, continuing upward, 632 meters. This is the Shanghai Tower. It is currently the tallest building in China. 828 meters. This is the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa. This building was designed by Americans, it was built by South Koreans, and constructed by Chinese companies. Design decides what a building looks like. Construction decides how it stands. At this point, let me add something else. There was once a building that was already designed, but never actually built. It was called the Tokyo Babel Tower. It was a 10,000 meters tall tower. However, it only existed in drawing. This tower was designed in the 1990s by a Japanese architect named Toshio Ojima. This building was not a hotel. It was not a commercial building. It was a residential structure. It was estimated that it could house 30 million people. In other words, the entire population of Tokyo could live inside it. The estimated construction cost was 3,000 trillion yen. That is equivalent to 37 times Japan's national budget, which means the Japanese government would have had to spend nothing at all for 37 years just to build it. So in the end, the project was abandoned. But when I think about this tower, I feel like I'm seeing what the future world might look like. All right, let's leave our imagination behind. Let's return to reality and continue going up. 957 meters. This is Hong Kong's highest mountain, Tai Mo Shan. Going up again. 3,640 meters. This is the highest capital city in the world, La Paz, Bolivia. Bolivia is what we often call the roof of the world. The air density in La Paz is extremely low. It has only about 60% of the oxygen we have here. Yet, this city is home to over 800,000 people. Going up again, 3,776 meters. This is Japan's highest mountain, Mount Fuji. Continuing upward, 3,952 meters. This is Taiwan's highest peak, Yushan. Continuing upward, 4,095 meters. This is Malaysia's highest mountain, Mount Kinabalu. The average elevation of the Qinghai-Tibet Railway is about 4,000 meters. It runs from Xining in Qinghai Province to Lhasa. The railway is over 2,000 kilometers long. Along this line, there is the world's highest railway station, Tenggala Station. Its elevation is 5,068 meters. The average elevation of the entire Tibetan Plateau is over 4,500 meters. It is said that this is about the highest altitude at which humans can live long-term, because at this height, oxygen levels are only half of those at sea level. Continuing upward, 8,848 meters, the world's highest peak, Mount Everest. Everyone knows that climbing Mount Everest is extremely difficult. But there is something very cute that can reach this height much more easily, a helium balloon. If you buy one in a park and release it, it will rise to over 8,000 meters and then explode. Continuing upward, 10,000 meters, we finally reached 10,000 meters. This is the cruising altitude of commercial airplanes. At this height, there was once a person who fell to the ground without a parachute and survived. This happened on January 26, 1972. A Yugoslav Airlines flight, Flight 367, was traveling from Stockholm to Belgrade. A bomb was planted on the plane by terrorists. The bomb exploded. The plane broke apart in midair and fell. There were 28 people on board. After rescue teams arrived, they found that 27 people had already died. One person was found unconscious. She was a flight attendant named Vesna Vulovic. She was rushed to the hospital. After being in a coma for 17 days, she miraculously woke up. She recovered very well, almost no lasting side effects. She even returned to her original company and continued working as a flight attendant. She went back to work. Why was she okay after falling from 10,000 meters? The main reasons were, first, the plane fell into a mountainous area with many trees. Second, it was snowing heavily that day. The mountain was covered in deep snow. The trees and snow formed a cushion, and the position where she was located happened to be relatively favorable. All of this combined resulted in this miraculous survival. Otherwise, if you were in free fall from 10,000 meters, the impact speed upon landing would reach 1,600 kilometers per hour. There was another thing that caught experts' attention. I just mentioned that she returned to work. Normally, when a person experiences such a disaster, even if they survive, they cannot go back to work because they usually develop a fear of heights. Just thinking about it would cause extreme fear and anxiety. So why did she go back to work? Later, she explained it herself. She said she did not remember the incident at all. She believed that the enormous impact caused her to lose that part of her memory, so she had no fear at all. Her later life was actually quite tragic. She suffered from a condition called survivor's guilt. As a survivor, she lived for many years under the pressure of guilt. The feeling of, why did I survive? Continuing upward, 11,000 meters. From ground level up to 11,000 meters, this region is called the troposphere. The clouds and rain we see are all formed below 11,000 meters. Clouds can weigh several tons, some even weigh hundreds of tons. So why can they float? Simply put, their density is lower. Their density is lower than the density of air. Continuing upward, 11,300 meters. This is the highest altitude ever discovered for bird flight. How was this record discovered? A plane was flying at this altitude when it collided with a bird. That bird was a Ripple's griffon vulture. It's a very large bird. Why it flew to this altitude, no one knows. But this incident proved that it can reach this height. It is currently the highest flying living creature ever discovered on Earth. Continuing upward, 50,000 meters. From 11,000 meters to 50,000 meters, this region is called the stratosphere. Air here moves horizontally. The main component of the stratosphere is ozone. Ozone absorbs ultraviolet radiation. If the stratosphere did not exist, ultraviolet rays would hit the ground directly. Most life would likely go extinct. On October 24, 2014, a Google executive, 57 years old, named Alan Eustace, successfully parachuted from an altitude of 41,419 meters. This jump set 2 records, one for the highest parachute jump and one for the fastest descent. During his fall, his maximum speed reached 1,322 kilometers per hour. That is faster than the speed of sound. Continuing upward, 800,000 meters. From 50,000 meters to 80,000 meters, this region is called the mesosphere. There is almost nothing here. The air is extremely thin. Planes cannot fly this high. Spaceships and satellites are above this region, so humans know very little about this layer. Continuing upward, 100,000 meters. According to the definition of the International Aeronautical Federation, anything above 100,000 meters is called space. Anything below that is what we call the sky. But scientifically, the sky is called the atmosphere. Sometimes, when we see images of Earth taken from space, we can see a thin, glowing blue layer around the planet. That layer is the atmosphere. It is about 100,000 meters thick. At this altitude, a line is drawn. It is called the Kármán line. This line is the boundary between the sky and space. Kármán was a Hungarian-American physicist. Usually the meteors we see burn up between 80,000 meters and 100,000 meters. They are only about the size of a green pea. These tiny pieces of cosmic dust enter the atmosphere. Because of air friction, they burn. We see a flash of light. That's all it is, a green pea-sized object burning and emitting light. We see it from the ground. Besides meteors, auroras also occur above 100,000 meters. Auroras have different colors depending on altitude. Around 100,000 meters, they are purple and pink. From 100,000 meters to 200,000 meters, they are mostly green and cyan. Above 200,000 meters, they appear red. So, when you go on a date with your girlfriend, if you see a meteor at night, you can tell her that's about 80 kilometers above us. If you see auroras, you can even tell her how far away they are based on the color. I think she would fall in love with you instantly. Although after that, she might still leave with someone driving a BMW or a Ferrari. It's 408,000 kilometers. There is the International Space Station. It orbits Earth at high speed, 7.7 kilometers per second. That's faster than a bullet. It completes one orbit around Earth every 90 minutes. All right, let's continue going up. 80,000 meters. From 80,000 meters to 800,000 meters, this region is called the thermosphere. As the name suggests, it is very hot. Why is it so hot? Because it is at the outermost layer of Earth and directly exposed to solar radiation. Air molecules in the thermosphere absorb shortwave solar radiation. They become energized. So how hot is it? About 2,500 degrees Celsius. But if a human were in the thermosphere, they would not feel hot. They would feel very cold, around minus 100 degrees Celsius. Even if you took a thermometer to measure it, it wouldn't show 2,500 degrees. It would show around minus 100 degrees. Why? Because the air in the thermosphere is extremely thin. The distance between air molecules is very large. It is almost a vacuum. Only the molecules themselves are hot. The space between them is extremely cold. This is why outer space is so cold.